drivers on the road, pedestrians and 2 New York Police Department officers. While being a public figure comes with a level of interest from the public, the statement says it should never come at the cost of anyone's safety. Dissemination of these images, given the ways in which they were obtained, encourages a highly intrusive practice that is dangerous to all involved. I should say that the background to this, as I say, is that they were at a gala in New York last night, and so it would appear that this incident happened after that gala had finished in New York, saying that this relentless pursuit lasted over 2 hours. My understanding is on that front that they were staying at a friend's house and not in a hotel, and so they didn't want the paparazzi to know where they were staying, which is why they didn't go directly back to where they were staying, which perhaps explains why this alleged chase lasted for over 2 hours. My understanding is that when they talk about a catastrophic, near catastrophic car chase, they are suggesting that it could have been fatal, that traffic violations included driving on the pavement, that there was running of red lights, reversing down a one-way street, driving while on the phone, driving while photographing, and illegally blocking a moving vehicle. My understanding is also that individuals were confronted by uniformed police multiple times, but they sped off to continue that pursuit. There was footage taken from security, along with other evidence to support this timeline and circumstances. So the suggestion being that whilst we have no pictures of this pursuit at the moment, that there are pictures out there. So it will be interesting to see whether those pictures do actually come to light.
Yes, hence that last line that you brought us a little earlier about the nature of the pictures and what perhaps will be done with them. In terms of what has gone on here, as we learn more of the detail, and you just talked about how some of these paparazzi behaved, what we know as fact, because there have been so many interviews, so many references from Prince Harry, he has condemned these practices again and again and again from the paparazzi, hasn't he?
Yeah, Matthew, you're absolutely right. This has been a concern of his for many, many years, of course, stemming back to his mother and her dealings with the paparazzi. You'll remember that we'll have seen lots of images of her being chased by the paparazzi. And as you say rightly, this is something that Prince Harry has brought up again and again and again in various court stories that have been going on, in statements that he has released while he was working member of the royal family and subsequently. So clearly this is an issue that he has been very, very concerned about. He's mainly focused, I think, up until now on the conduct of paparazzi in Britain. To my knowledge, I'm not aware that this has been a huge issue for them in the United States so far, but certainly this incident last night appears to have been significant on that front. Like I say, this statement, it's just worth reiterating that top line, isn't it? Last night, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Doria Ragland, Meghan's mother, were involved in a near catastrophic car chase at the hands of a ring of highly aggressive paparazzi. And I should also reiterate that when I spoke to their people, the people that speak on behalf of them, the first thing they said was just to make sure that everybody knew they are okay.
Sarah, stay there. I'll come back to you in a moment or two, but let's head straight to Washington because, as Sarah was telling us, as we've been learning, this incident happening in New York on Tuesday, and Nomia Iqbal across this as more details emerge there in the States. Have we heard anything, first of all, Nomia, from the New York police themselves?
So far, all we've got from them is that they have not immediately confirmed the incident. But of course, Matthew, we are keeping across it to see if they do give us more details later on. It's worth emphasising that this has come from Prince Harry's spokesperson alone, and so we are still waiting to verify exactly what happened from other places. It's worth mentioning that this was the first public appearance by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex since the coronation. They were both in New York last night for this awards event. It's the 2023 Women of Vision Awards. Meghan was there to pick up an award for what they described as her global advocacy to empower women and girls. And I know you've already read the statement, but just to sort of reiterate it, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Miss Ragland, Meghan's mother, of course, the statement reads, were involved in a near catastrophic car chase at the hands of a ring of highly aggressive paparazzi. We also learned from the statement that this pursuit lasted for about 2 hours, resulting in multiple near collisions involving other drivers on the road, pedestrians and 2 New York Police Department officers. But as I say, we have put in calls to the New York Police Department, but so far they haven't immediately confirmed what happened.
And Nomia, I mean, Prince Harry, he was back here for the coronation. Only recently he was also back for that court case, the hacking court case that is going on. So he's only recently returned, hasn't he, to the United States?
He has. And, as you were talking there before, Prince Harry has been very open, especially ever since he moved to the US, about his hatred of the paparazzi. He did a BBC documentary in which he called them a pack of dogs because he blames them for what happened to his mother, Princess Diana. And so it is something that, obviously, that this is a huge issue for the couple. But they stepped down, as we remember, in 2020, and partly because of what they described as media harassment. And so now they find themselves in this situation. But, it's important to emphasise again that we're still trying to verify a lot of the details. And just to read something else in their statement, they said, while being a public figure comes with a level of interest from the public, it should never come at the cost of anyone's safety. Dissemination of these images, given the ways in which they were obtained, encourages the highly intrusive practice that is dangerous to all involved. There are pictures circulating on social media, but we've yet to verify them.
Nomia, we're looking at a picture from last night of the royal couple, and as those details from the Prince's statement and his spokesman we're all assessing in terms of the early detail of this. Clearly, this is an incident that happened after this event in New York. We know from what the Prince has said previously about security, a lot of security concerns when he returns here to the UK. But when he's in the States, does he have a team for security around him?
They do have a lot of security. It's privately paid for, we understand. In terms of exactly what the security detail was last night, we don't know. There were lots of videos and images of them arriving at the event in New York last night, and they were surrounded. There was, of course, a lot of paparazzi, but they did have security with them. In terms of their travel from the event to wherever they were going, their location was secret, of course, for privacy reasons. We just don't know exactly what kind of security they had. And I think what's interesting in terms of their statement, they say that this pursuit went on for 2 hours. So it's really difficult to obviously piece it all together at the moment, given it's only their statement, Prince Harry's statement, that we've got so far. But once we do get more details, and just to re-emphasise, we have put in calls with the New York Police Department, we should be able to get a bigger picture of exactly what happened last night in New York.
Nomia, thanks very much. I'm going to bring in Sarah Campbell back in the newsroom, who continues to look at this, talk to her contacts, our royal correspondent, Sarah Campbell. Sarah, in terms of the detail, it's coming, of course, from Prince Harry's team, and we're getting bits of it adding to the initial statement. But do we know, for example, some of the basics? Do we know the numbers of paparazzi he is talking about here? Do we know if they were in cars, on bikes, any of the basic detail?
Yeah, so my understanding is that the chase that they're talking about involved half a dozen blacked out vehicles with unidentified people. This is according to according to our understanding of what went on. Unidentified people driving recklessly, and endangering the convoy and everyone around them. So those details, again, my understanding, traffic violations, so the kind of chase that we're talking about, driving on the pavement, running red lights, reversing down a one-way street, driving while on the phone, driving while photographing, illegally blocking a moving vehicle. But we also have to understand, as Naomi was just saying, we are trying to independently verify whether any of this marries up with what the New York Police Department are saying as well, because the only information that we have at the moment is coming from the spokespeople from the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.